These photographs were taken in Huatulco, on the Pacific coast of Oaxaca, Mexico. Together, they reveal something easy to miss. This famous landscape of beaches and bays is also a meeting place for an extraordinary butterfly community. Over the next 5 minutes, we will explore why Huatulco holds so many species, 3 butterflies most often documented around the region, 3 that appear at the opposite edge of the record, and the deeper human history that gives transformation a special meaning in Oaxaca. Huatulco sits where the Sierra Madre del Sur descends into the Pacific. Within a relatively small area are tropical dry forest, riparian vegetation, wetlands, thorn scrub, dunes, mangrove, gardens, and disturbed edges. Each habitat offers different host plants for caterpillars, flowers for adult nectar, shade, moisture, and seasonal refuge. The dominant ecosystem is tropical dry forest, known locally as Selva baja caducifolia. Much of it drops its leaves during the dry season, then changes dramatically when rain returns. Butterfly abundance and visibility rise and fall with those cycles. A recent UNAM-led DNA study of the dry forests of Huatulco and Camila detected more than 7,000 insect species across the 2 regions. Of the organisms identified, 22% were butterflies and moths. Only 18.5% of insect species overlapped between the 2 sites, evidence of strong local uniqueness. To avoid guessing at common, we examined research-grade iNaturalist observations within 35 kilometers of Huatulco. This is not a formal population census, and popular or easily photographed species can be overrepresented. Still, the counts offer a useful window into what observers encounter. First is the Dorantes Longtail, Cecropterus dorantes, with more than 400 research-grade observations in the snapshot. This fast skipper is recognized by its long hindwing tails and quick, darting flight. It often uses sunny forest edges and gardens, places where people are also likely to notice it. Close behind is the iulia Heliconian, Dryas iulia. Its narrow, glowing orange wings make it one of the coast's most immediately recognizable butterflies. Like other Heliconians, it is closely tied to passionflower vines as larval hosts. Its long wings and steady flight allow it to move between flowers and habitat patches. Third is the Malachite, Siproeta stelenes, named for the pale green windows across its dark wings. It is a forest-edge butterfly that may feed on flower nectar, rotting fruit, and mineral-rich moisture. When the wings close, the patterned underside becomes remarkably leaf-like. These 3 species do not define the whole community, but they introduce its speed, color, and ecological variety. What does rarest mean? A single observation can reflect true scarcity, a short flight season, an inaccessible habitat, limited observer coverage, or even an identification that deserves future review. So the following are not declared endangered. They are among the least observed butterflies in this local research-grade snapshot, each represented by only 1 record. Barnes's sister, Adelpha barnesia, belongs to a group known for bold white bands and agile flight through woodland. Dyar's swallowtail, Battus ingenuus, represents a dramatic lineage whose caterpillars depend on specific pipevine relatives. And Maza's mimic white, Enantia mazai, is a delicate white butterfly whose name honors one of Mexico's important lepidopterological traditions. 1 record does not establish a population trend. It creates a question. Are these butterflies genuinely scarce near Huatulco? Are they seasonal visitors? Do they occupy forests that observers seldom reach? Continued photography, careful identification, and repeated surveys can turn isolated sightings into ecological knowledge. Huatulco's human story is much older than modern tourism. Federal tourism history notes that Mixtec, Contal, Zapotec, Nawa, and Chichimeca peoples inhabited the wider area. Archaeological work has identified dozens of pre-Hispanic sites. Huatulco became an important Oaxacan center during the post-classic period, and the coast connected mountain communities with trade and maritime routes. The region's indigenous history is not one single culture frozen in time. It includes migration, alliance, conflict, trade, Spanish invasion, epidemics, colonial rule, and continued community stewardship. Contal history, for example, records conflict and exchange with Zapotec powers and later prosperity connected to cochineal cultivation and the port of Huatulco. Today, communal lands and local conservation systems remain important to protecting the watersheds and forests around the national park. Is there a special Huatulco butterfly tradition? The available sources do not establish one unique to the bays, so we should not invent it. But there is a documented connection in the broader indigenous history of Oaxaca. UNAM researchers describe how pre-Hispanic Zapotec artists used the butterfly's metamorphosis in funerary vessels. The transformation from caterpillar to winged adult became a powerful image for the passage from a living person to an enduring soul or spiritual essence. Across Mesoamerica, butterfly imagery carried several meanings: fire, fertility, warriors, death, rebirth, abundance, and the fragile nature of life. Meanings varied by place and period. There was never just one universal symbol. That history changes how we can look at this collage. It is not proof of an ancient Huatulco ritual. It is an invitation to see why a creature that transforms completely, disappears with the seasons, and returns with rain could become both ecological signal and cultural metaphor. Huatulco's butterflies depend on more than flowers. They depend on host plants, intact dry forest, stream corridors, seasonal water, and connected habitat. Official park assessments identify forest loss, tourism, development, collection, and climate pressure as continuing threats. These original photographs preserve encounters, but they can also support science. Keep the date and location of each image. Avoid collecting wild butterflies. Plant locally native host and nectar species, and consider sharing observations with a biodiversity platform. A collage can become a record. A record can become knowledge. And knowledge can help keep Huatulco's living wings in the landscape.